We're here at the Lawton Food Bank in Lawton, Oklahoma, and we're going to learn a little bit about what these folks are doing to fight hunger in the community. Come on in. About how many people come through the food bank each day, roughly?
People as in people in need?
Yeah,
clientele?
Clientele.
Second half of the month is worse than the first half of the month. We're averaging 902 in 2010, 902 families each month. So February was a little less. It's probably our least busy month of the year. I know January we fed 935 families. I know December was 1,035 families. But it averages out to
Is there a certain time of year where there's a bigger need than the other times of year?
whenever children are out of school.
Right.
Children qualify for free and reduced lunches at school, and so they're used to having 1 to 2 free meals a day. So even just spring break, we're busier in March than what we were in February because of that 1 week called spring break when kids were home from school. But our numbers have tripled in the past 4 years. So I'm hoping that maybe we'll start to see at least a slight decline.
Yeah.
You know, let's be realistic. It's not going to change dramatically anytime soon. But if we can at least start that decline, then that gives us all hope.
Wonderful. I see you guys have baby food too.
So we do have baby food. We like having baby food. Baby food, and especially baby formula, is outrageously expensive. So we do have people that donate that to us on a semi-regular basis. So babies are just very near and dear to the heart. It was a volunteer that happened to be here, and somebody, I answered the phone, and in front of her, and we'll say it was Lucika that happened to be here, because Lucika is very wonderful to us as well. And heard me, somebody asked, you know, do you have any baby formula? I'm sorry, we're out. Next day, she went to the commissary. Lucika's a military wife as well. Brought in a case of baby food and said, don't you ever tell anybody no. If somebody calls you and says you have no formula, you have no food, here's my number, you call me. Volunteer. So 2% I need to tout. It's that time of year where we do all the and I'll say it out loud for Lucika because her husband works at his husband's company gave us a grant as well. It's that time of year where you figure all your administrative rates, you know, for the nonprofits. 2%, Lawton Food Bank, 2%, beat that. I was talking to Katie Knopsker that runs the United Way, and she said, if I was you, I'd get that tattooed across my head. So yeah, so I'm just really excited about that. That's amazing. So basically, if you donate $1 to the food bank, 98 cents of that's going to go for food.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah, so we're very proud of that.
How important is it that people do hold food drives for the food bank?
Oh, it's vital. Without that, probably 40% of the food that we give away is food that's been donated.
Really?
60% we purchase, but the rest of it is all food that's been donated. So it's vital. Without that, the food that we give to our clients, they tell us right now, it's about a week's worth at a time. So without that, we'd have to knock that down in half to only maybe 3 days at a time.
In terms of the types of people that have been visiting the food bank, have you seen a change in that since the recession?
Oh, absolutely. We have people who used to be donors that now come in need of food, and they really hate coming. So treating our clientele with the dignity and respect they deserve is job one for me. So, because I say that all the time, there by the grace of God go I. Most of them are just people who've fallen upon hard times. A lot of people out there with no insurance. We have a lot of jobs in Lawton, Oklahoma, but there are a lot of minimum wage jobs. You know, we don't have a lot of good jobs. So we have a lot of our working families, most of them have like 2 and 3 part-time jobs. And so that makes it really difficult. And with that comes no insurance. So if their child falls out of the tree, kids don't climb trees anymore, breaks an arm playing football, you do play football in Oklahoma, and you have, there's a trip to the emergency room, that's going to set you back for months at a time and perhaps even years, you know. Would have been a year ago, and she ended up with her granddaughters. Her daughter was incarcerated, and so have I told you the story? Her granddaughter, and so she ended up with her 2 granddaughters, and unbeknownst to her, I mean, she wasn't expecting that, and she had purchased them all a gift, and so she was ready for that, but she wasn't ready for the day-to-day and having to feed them, and now the big Christmas and what was she going to do with them, and she, you know, had plans to take them to church and all, but you know, she said we have no money for a Christmas tree or decorations or stockings, or she said they'll each have a present, but that's all we can do. And, And we gave them our box of holiday food. And I tell this at Sam's because we got the stuff from Sam's. But I got the most wonderful thank you letter afterwards in January that said, I wanted to thank you. She said, all those things that I just said, we didn't have all those things, we didn't have the tree. She said, but you gave us the most beautiful box of Christmas cookies. She said we had never seen anything so beautiful ever. That was a highlight of our holiday. That's what made it seem like Christmas as opposed to any other day of the week. They were just cookies from Sam's, you know, and like they decorate them all up with the holidays, and they can look like reindeers and stars and all that sort of thing. But, and then she came by a week later and said, did you get my note? And she hugged me and thanked me. And she said, thank you so much. And she said, I promise, give me a couple months, I'm going to get my budget in line, and you'll never see me again. But you made it. See, look at me. She said, but you got us through the holidays, and thank you. So, anyway, I love that story. A year later, I still tell that story, and I still cry.